Hello everyone, I'm Neo, and today we'll be doing another episode of our RPG Godot 4 series. Today we'll be adding EXP and a boss fight. The boss fight will include a health bar at the bottom, as well as a custom name and some other parameters that can be set, and we'll also have one special attack for it. So for this video, we're going to want to add a boss fight, or a boss's sprite sheet. For this one, which you can download in the GitHub down below, it'll have 23 frames and it'll include the attack animation. So our first order of business is to go over to our autoloads, and we will begin working on our autoloads changes. So we will begin by adding a player health variable. This is when we have our player leveling up, and we'll have to change the stats from the level up. And then we will add our player level, which will be equal to 1. Our EXP is going to start at 0. Our experience gained, also 0. And then our experience required to level up will be equal to a function which we'll write called required EXP function, and this will have the player level included as well as a +1. So just in case we have a level up. Now we're going to want to start by writing our function, required exp function, which will be our player level. And we'll return a rounded number of to the power player level 1.5, so to the 1.5 power, and then we'll add player level times 3. You can adjust this to however you feel like. I'll just set it to this for now because it'll allow us to level up more easily. So we will also then write experience gained, and we'll have experience plus equals to experience gained. And then we'll have some conditions. If experience is less than experience required, then we'll have exp gained plus equal to exp gain, and then exp required will be subtracted. Else, if experience is less than or greater than or equal to exp required, then we'll have a level up. And then we'll write that function as well. So function level up, experience minus equals experience gained, player level plus equals 1, and then the experience required will be returning to the same function we wrote in the beginning. And then we'll have our function increase stats. I wrote this as a separate function just in case you wanted to have your own unique stat increases depending on if, say, you want a special class to have different values changed. And there we go. So we'll go over to our player script and we'll begin changing a couple of things. To start, we're going to add health. Our player health is equal to player data dot player health, and then attack power is equal to player data dot player damage. This way, in case of a level up, it'll change and it'll update the player's health and the player's damage. Now we'll go over to our enemy script and we'll want to add a new export variable. This one will be called experience dropped, and we'll set this to 10 for our skeleton enemy, or just for the base enemies. Then down here we'll want to go to our death function, and we'll want to do player data dot experience gain, and then we'll put experience drop. So this function will run with the experience drop variable. Before we make our boss, we're going to make a canvas layer that will represent the boss's health and a name down below. So we'll rename this to boss health bar, and then we will add a rich label text, and then we will add a progress bar, and we will also add an animation player, so these two things can fade in. So for me personally, since we're going to have our player's health up above, I'll put the progress bar down below, and I'll remove the show percentage. And then we'll also want to move the rich label here, so I'll just put boss name as a placeholder, stretch it out, and then we can move it so under our enemy folder, we'll want to create a new folder, our boss folder. And we'll want to add, save here. So we'll go under enemy, boss, and we'll rename this to boss health bar. This is going to work to where you don't have to set it custom, but when there's a boss inside of the game, in this case our world, it will emit a signal to its name and its amount of health, and it will update the health depending on how much health it has left. So there's no need for any custom changes. It is automatic. Now for our animation player, I'm just going to do a fade in, and I will just have it slowly come into the scene. And there we go. So now we can add in a new script, and I'll make sure, yep. And we'll start off by setting an onReady variable, our health progress, which will be equal to our progress bar. OnReady variable boss name will be equal to rich label text, or rich text label. And then function ready, we'll start off by getting our boss. And by doing so, we'll get our parent, and then we'll get the node boss. This is checking for the name, so make sure that your boss is named boss. This does not mean you have to save it as boss, but you just have to make sure the very first parent is named boss. So now we will also do boss health changed dot connect, and then we'll have our change health bar. Then boss dot set health bar dot connect set health max. Boss dot set name is going to be connected to set name, which will be a function we'll write, and then we'll show health bar. So the first thing we'll want to do is write our set name function, and we'll have string as an argument. We'll have boss name dot text is equal to string. Then function set health max is going to be value. Health progress dot max value is equal to value. Then function change health bar. This will update the health bar every time the enemy or the boss gets hit. And we'll do value, normal value, which is our constantly updating value. And we'll set that to the value. And then function show health bar. We will set that to our animation player and play our fade in. Okay, now we will actually make our boss. We'll first start off by making a template, which will be a character body, and we'll rename this to boss template. Then we'll want to add a collision shape. Did not mean to do that. We'll add a sprite. Then we'll add an animation player. We'll add an animation tree when we make a scene inherited out of this. Then we'll add 2 area to these. This one will be called attack detector. This one will be called attack box. And we'll both have collision shapes for these 2. And we can save this as our boss template. And we'll want to make our script, which will be boss template, and there we go. So for this one, you can just copy and paste a lot from the enemy AI. However, you can see there's a change here, which is our boss name, and I increased the EXP drop. So we'll also want to include these onReady variables, and we'll want to have a special timer included, which will be on a scene inherited. So we can copy and paste from our enemy all of this here. However, we're going to add a couple new things. First, we're going to have player in proximity, which will be adding all this content for our boss when we have this scene inherited. And we'll have signal boss health changed, health bar with value, and string, which will be for our health bar. So for our function, we'll want to have the following. We'll have some changes here. So we'll first off be emitting all these signals so we can update our health bar, and that's about it. We'll also want to set our functions later. We'll want to include this part from our enemy script, which is not much different. However, something that will be different is our change health bar. So we'll be emitting the boss health changed. And you'll notice we've already emitted it before, but we're going to emit it again so we can signal to our health bar that we have changed the health. Now below that, we'll have our same accelerate towards point function. However, we'll be including our special blend position, which will be whenever the boss is going to use its special attack on the player. And the rest of this will be included here. So we'll connect this to our character here. And what's changed here is just we are giving the XP just like our enemy script, and that is it. Except we're having our proximity checked for a special attack, which will be setting our proximity of the attack for later. So what we'll want to do is go over to our attack detector, and we'll want to click on body entered, and then we'll want to click on body exited, and then for our attack box we'll want to do area entered. For our attack box, we'll want to set it in groups to enemy, and then for our attack detector we will set it to enemy attack detector. Make sure that you have typed this correctly because it is very case sensitive. Okay, so now we'll want to go over to scene, new inherited scene. We'll select the boss template and we'll open. So now we'll have a new scene. We'll rename this to orc, and we can save this as our orc boss. So we're going to set our attack proximity, which will be in area 2D. And then we'll also have another area 2D. This one will be our grand slam box. And we can just include an collision shape. and then we can set that for later. Our attack proximity can go up here. We'll include a collision as well. We can save. And under our sprite, we'll just want to drag and drop our orc PNG. And in my case, I have 23 frames. For the boss, I'm going to show how to animate the special. So we'll want to add in our frames. So I've done it here. And then we'll want to set our disabled here for our Grand Slam. So we'll start in the beginning. And right about here where the attack is starting, we can disable the disable. So it has an enabled collision. And then at the end of the animation, we can set it to disabled again. And we'll also want to make sure we have an extra frame so it holds, but it disables it before it ends. So after animating all of this, be sure that you have, for all your animations, the blend space with these dots. And if you're following along with the character that you've downloaded here, what you can do is make sure that you have ground slam on all four corners here set to ground slam, because I don't have animations for left, right, up, and down. Now make sure that you have for your groups set to enemy for your slam box, and we'll also want to begin connecting. So for our attack proximity, we'll do a body entered to boss here, and then we'll want to do body exited as well, and we'd save. And for our attack box, we'll do area entered to check for any projectiles, and we can still register an attack. We can save as well. Lastly, make sure we have our special timer here, and we have it connected to our special timer. Should be. I realized I did not connect this to our script, so make sure that you double click and connect this to our script, and we'll type in the following. If player in proximity, we will do special timer dot start, and then we'll do animation tree dot get parameters slash playback, and then we will travel over to our special. One last thing, make sure that you have your collision shape set so you cannot have the boss running through walls. We'll just set it slightly tiny. We'll set it at the belly of the monster. Now we'll want to go over to the world. We're going to add two things. We're going to add our boss health bar, and then we're going to add our orc. Once again, make sure it is called boss. It is named boss, but you can name it whatever you want once you save it. Otherwise, the health bar will not be able to find the boss. So we'll save here. We'll want to make sure under our orc we set its name. So we'll just call it orc. Save that. And we'll change our boss's stats a little bit. So we can make this a slower boss. It can be at 30. Its health can be at 20. It can have a lot of knockback. We can increase or decrease the attack, but I'll actually keep it at 0 so we can see its attacks. And the XP dropped will be 100, which means it is a very hefty boss. I also forgot to add in the health UI from last time. So we can just run our scene and we can see the boss. So we've loaded into our game. We can press play. We'll choose warrior. And as you can see, we have it loaded in. We may have to change where the boss's name ends up, but we can walk up to the boss and immediately it starts attacking us, and we can see if it'll do its special. There we go. So its special is working. We can attack it, and you can see at the bottom its health bar is changing. So we can just attack this boss until he eventually dies. So we'll also want to make sure we have a fade out for our health bar. So here's the updated part for our health bar. I'm adding a hide health bar, which will play a fade out, which is just a reversed version of our fade in. And we'll have a timer starting. And once the timer stops, which will be at 1 second, which is the exact time, then it'll just QQ free. Thank you all for watching and supporting the channel. We've reached over 500 subscribers as of right now, which is a crazy amount, and I never would have guessed I would have come this far. So I appreciate all of you who have been able to support me, and those of you who have also been buying my assets, which I'm currently selling an asset pack, which I can have in the link down below. I deeply appreciate all the sales that have been coming in, and it helps the channel out a lot. Any feedback is appreciated on this video, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.